I feel like I'm I don't even know, a traveler right now, because I am. I'm not in Ottawa right now, um, and we're actually in a completely different country. And I'm sitting on my backpack because I had to check out of my hotel this morning, um, and we're checking into a new one. So right now we're in that weird transition period. But nonetheless, today, welcome back to another YAP session. We are talking about Pokemon Go 2. Would there ever be a Pokemon Go 2? Why would they even release a Pokemon Go 2? I have some thoughts on this. I actually do. I'm kind of in the middle on whether I think this would happen or not. And I'm going to explain why, because I do think it could happen, but I also do think that it could end up not happening. And yeah, that's what we're going to get into today. I'm going to zoom in on this. Today we are, by the way, for anyone wondering where we are, we're in Edinburgh. You can see, actually, I don't know if you can see. Can you see there's like a tower there? There's Scottish towers all around me. We're in this beautiful park. Honestly, maybe my favorite part of Edinburgh. You know, I do love the history and the old buildings and stuff that I'm sure everybody does love. But this one park right here, it's called the Meadows. And honestly, let me show you actually. Let me show you guys. It's called the Meadows, okay? And it's literally just this huge area of grass. And now if you know me, one thing I love is huge areas of grass. Actually, I don't know why I said that, because I like them, but they're not the craziest things. But for some reason, this one's just so beautiful. We have like the cherry blossoms that are in bloom as well. So just an absolutely amazing city to be in. So I've come here to the park to record a little YAP session and I guess discuss this topic and try not to cause too much of a disturbance, even though that's pretty much all I do. So anyway, how have I been? I've been good. We've been traveling in Scotland the last couple of days. Went up to the Highlands, did a bunch of fun, exciting adventures. Heading back to Ottawa tomorrow at 6 a.m. By the time you're watching this video, I will be back in Ottawa. So this information doesn't really matter to you. But anyway, I will be back to Ottawa. The Highlands were amazing. Really, really love Scotland. Anyone who is Scottish here, shout out to your country. Yeah, no, honestly, the country is really, really nice. Scottish. Edinburgh, where I am, is a lot of young people, a lot of people that are coming to school, which is interesting because where I live in Ottawa, not as much as that. So really, really nice to be here. Enjoy the weather. And yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about Scotland. Beautiful country, beautiful countryside, beautiful cities. And I'm excited to go home as well. It's always that weird thing where like you get homesick, but you also really, really like the traveling part of it. Anyway, today let's get into Pokemon Go 2. We're going to get right into it and talk about why I think there could be a Pokemon Go 2. Why does it even matter to have this discussion? Because the whole thing of Pokemon Go is that it is a game that will be consistently updated forever. Think about Fortnite. Would Fortnite ever get a Fortnite 2? No, because it's a game that the 2 version, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5 version is all, it's all the updates. You know, Pokemon Go, or sorry, if you look at Fortnite, if we were to release a new game every single time a new season comes out, we'd be at like Fortnite, number 20. And if Pokemon Go followed this strategy as well, we would be on like Pokemon Go, like what even season in PvP is it? It's like really, really far in terms of seasons in PvP. We're at like season, I don't know, are we at 20? I'm not sure. I stopped doing PvP a couple seasons ago, but I'm kind of getting back into it. So stay tuned for some PvP videos. But like, it's just the core concept of the game doesn't make sense. But I do see a reason why it could make sense, still on the same side. The game is aging. It's almost 10 years, by the way. If you haven't known, Pokemon Go next year, 2026, will have its 10-year anniversary. So first of all, this means a lot of things just because of the fact that like it's going to be a huge year next year. I could definitely see Mega Mewtwo being the release during GoFest or the 10th anniversary event. And just I think Pokemon Niantic, we have to say Sculpey now. Sculpey is probably working up a lot of fun things for the 10-year anniversary of Pokemon Go, because yeah, oh my god, 10 years is going to be crazy. But nonetheless, the game is getting really, really old, and there are parts of the game that have been the same since the start. Is this a bad thing? No. Is this a good thing? Maybe. I don't know. Things like the map looks very, very similar. Yes, we've gotten a couple updates to the map, like you can see during special events when the different Pokestops have like different areas around them and all that stuff, and you do see certain updates, but really, really not that common. And overall, the core game mechanics, the core of the game has been the same. Now again, I rephrase this. This is not a big deal. And this is not the reason why I think Pokemon Go 2 could come maybe at some point in maybe. Okay, I'm also just going to say this right now. This topic is one of those topics where it's really just fun to talk about, and the possibility of it happening is pretty slim. But that's the whole point of the app sessions. We just talk about things that, you know, we just chat about it. Why not? Have some fun. Anyway, these things could be updated, but the reason. Let me just say this right now. Oh wow, that guy has a really nice outfit. One thing I'll say, sorry, a little sidetrack, is that the fashion in Europe, they got it on down pat. No hate on America, but sometimes I'm just like, what are we doing out there in America? Out here, bro? I guess they all have money, so it's easier for them. I don't know. Anyway, the whole reason I think Pokemon Go 2 could come is because it would give Scopely. I really, someone's got to hit me in the head every time I do that. It would give Scopely the chance to Pokemon Go 2. No, it would give Scopely the chance to rebuild the game from the ground up. And this could solve a lot of issues in Pokemon. Let's get into it. Okay, the core systems of Pokemon Go. The map. Let's start with the map. The map has been the same bluish, greenish, teal tint since the start of the game. It's very low, I don't want to say low quality, but low detail. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe people like the low detail of the map, but a grassy area is just a darker green. Actually, speaking of, let's actually take a look. Let's take a look here at the Meadows. This place is called the Meadows, and you would expect this to be the most majestical, floral place ever. And you know what? In real life, it is. I'm gonna go sit in a bit. I'm gonna go sit under that tree. But look in the map, bruh. This doesn't say anything about the Meadows. This is like, dude. Some of it is green. Oh, eggs. This is like, I don't know, the desert. I don't know. This looks like a baseball pitch. Almost. Okay, sorry. Let me just hash these eggs. Oh, hash Riolu. I still don't have a Hundo Riolu, by the way. Shout out in chat if you're a person who doesn't have a Hundo Riolu. Oh, I need that for the collection challenge. Perfect. Okay, that's not Hundo. But yeah, look at this. Look, some of this is like brown. Like, it looks like a baseball pitch. I'm recording, right? That would suck if I wasn't. Yeah, I think I am. Hopefully. So I think that this would give Niantic a huge opportunity to a full map overhaul and rebuild it from the ground up. I think the reason why games like Fortnite never get the biggest updates ever. That girl is doing push-ups right now in jeans. Okay, this is the most random area I've ever been in. Is because Niantic could work on a new map without having the instability of the servers, without having, it would just be something that they could do so much testing on. They could play around with it so much. They could see, does this work? Does that work? And it doesn't matter if it works or not because it is a completely new game that no one has access to yet. So there will be no complaints. It won't be bad for their brand. Rebuilding, when you're even making a game, obviously you need a lot of game testing and stuff like that, but you don't really care about whether it works or not because it gives you so much ability to just figure it out. Versus when a game is being updated, it's much more. Look, I don't know the intricacies of it, but I would think that'd be a bit more of a complicated situation because you'd be already stemming from a game that already works. There's already be limitations because for your update to work, it has to link with everything that's already working in game. And there's probably a lot of lines of code that if you make an update like this, it ruins this line of code. But if you build it from ground zero, there's just so much more flexibility. And this is the main reason on why I think Pokemon Go 2 could happen because it would give Niantic, obviously it would probably take many years to get into development. And would this even happen? Maybe not. Probably not. But I do think that is a pro. I guess we could say in a list of pros and cons, this would be a pro on why Pokemon Go 2 could come. This could lead to things like a cleaner UI, a completely new UI, and obviously Niantic could just update these things in Pokemon Go right now, but it would just give them a chance to just completely rehaul the game and release a completely fresh game. Because if Niantic were to drop an update, tomorrow that completely changed Pokemon Go and everything was different, it would get probably a lot of backlash. But versus Pokemon Go 2, where everything is just completely different, but it's a completely new game, it would probably be received a little bit better. I think they could streamline a lot of the game systems and just fix a lot of things that need overhauls. This has been a discussion that's been going on a decent amount in the community, but things like raids, people believe should get a complete overhaul in how it works. Things like gymming. Gymming is one of the ones that's most talked about, but having like Pokemon Go, Pokemon in gyms, and just the whole gym system is a system that's kind of, I don't want to say broken, but a little bit outdated. You know, it doesn't work as well anymore. So completely rehauling that from the start to make it completely different and better for the player experience. This could be a great chance for Pokemon Go 2 to do that, because again, they could just release a completely new thing, a completely new game that obviously it's Pokemon Go 2, it's a sequel, it would still have similar qualities, but it would I don't even know the best way to say this. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say, but like it would have the same qualities, but it would be very, very fresh, very, very new, very, very thought of, and very, very tested. Versus, because I think this is the main thing, is that Pokemon Go is an active game. It has an active player base, so you need to feed the active player base with things to go on and happen. And this means that there's a lot more attention on what you do and when something comes out. Versus if Pokemon Go 2 were to come out, they could do it all in the secret. They could do it all in background, where there's not the tension and the pressures of an active player base they need to keep happy. That's the best way to say it, in my opinion. But let's continue. The player experience could obviously be improved, you know, raids, PvP, team building. Again, all features of Pokemon could be overhauled. Dynamax could be completely different. Although that just came out, I don't see that changing much. Raids could be different. PvP, they could change the PvP mechanics. They could add abilities, different things like that. That could be really, really fun. A random idea that I had was like a choose your path style, where, look, I don't know if this will ever happen. This could even happen in Pokemon Go, but like you could choose what type of trainer you are or your main focus. It's kind of like choosing like almost like skill sets in other games. Like you can choose, like, I don't know, in Skyrim, there's like a bunch of different skill sets you can do. You know, one-handed weapons, two-handed weapons, long range bow weapons, things like that. In Pokemon Go, it could be cool if you could be like a raider or a collector or a PvPer, or you know, like stuff like that, and that could give you some sort of tailored missions, or all your timed research and research tasks are more focused around things like that, because it'll just make for a funner experience for you, because that's what you're into, I guess. And then finally, I think we do need to talk about an updated tutorials. Pokemon Go has, I don't want to say the worst tutorials ever, but when you get into Pokemon Go, not a lot of, they explain stuff good, but I don't think they give you the best tips on how to take advantage of stuff and all that stuff. And obviously that kind of, I guess, almost creates a job for me where I can make content about tips, but it would be great if Niantic just updated the tutorials and gave really, really in-depth guides or resources where people could go to really, really learn about the optimal strategies in the game, and really just the full mechanics too. Because like, I think one thing about Pokemon Go, like I think of the Mega Pokemon Candy XL. Like when you Mega Evolve Pokemon, you get more Candy XL. They just say you get more Candy XL. It would be cool if Niantic actually gave us the numbers. And instead of having to go into the data mines to get the numbers, you could actually get like the deep numbers of like, okay, this is a 25% bonus. Instead, it just says more. You know what I mean? So maybe that's just a personal preference, but I would love those to be updated. Other things that could be updated, the XL Candy system could be updated. Stardust system could be updated. It's, you know, Stardust, powering up Pokemon, so expensive on Stardust. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it makes you grind, but I still believe it could be a little bit cheaper. And then potentially even, this is more of an overall thing, but thinking back, I guess, to last week's YAP session. How did you guys enjoy last week's YAP session, by the way? By the way, last week, I wasn't saying I agree that there's too many events. It was more just a conversation. One thing I found on the YAP sessions, and maybe I shouldn't get too much into it, but like, people will see the title, they'll watch 3 minutes of the video, and they won't understand the points I'm making. The point of last week's YAP session was the discussion, and to start a discussion of, is there too many events in Pokemon Go, or is it just community complaints and a non-issue? That's the thing, is I feel like every YAP session I make, people are like, this is a non-issue. And it's going to be the same thing. Comment below, this is a non-issue, because this is probably a non-issue. But that's not the point of YAP sessions. The point of YAP sessions are to just yap. But nonetheless, they could end up reducing the amount of events, creating less FOMO. So overall, I think those are some of the main things that could be overhauled in Pokemon Go. But there is one thing that I think could be the biggest overhaul if we do end up getting a Pokemon Go 2. And actually the main reason I do think we will get a Pokemon Go 2, or not, maybe we will get a Pokemon Go 2, but the potential is there. because this is something that I don't think they could do without shutting down the game. I guess is the best way to put it, but I think the reason Pokemon Go 2 could happen is because there's certain things that won't be fixed in Pokemon Go unless they fully shut down. I guess you could say parts of the game. I don't know if the whole game would need to be shut down, but parts of the game. And I have talked about it. I have said, like, in past videos, like, I wouldn't be mad if Niantic was like, hey, Pokemon Go is offline for a week because we're doing a full overhaul. I wouldn't be mad at that. But again, when you have an active player base, there is a pressure. And that's why I see the potential of Pokemon Go 2 happening instead of Pokemon Go 1. So I'm going to go sit under those cherry blossoms, and we will continue yapping about these topics. There's a lot of people here. Okay, I just realized that I was not in focus that whole last clip, so I apologize for all my visual viewers. Remember, you can actually listen to these YAP sessions, though, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, all the podcast platforms. So if you prefer to listen to it there, feel free, and then you'll have the issue of me realizing I'm not in focus for a whole clip. So anyway, does it matter? I don't know, but apologize for that. Let's move on. We're here under the beautiful... I think these are cherry blossoms, but I'm not sure. They are pink, which is very, very beautiful. That woman is finally leaving. I wanted the chair she was sitting on, but she didn't move. So then I came over here beside, and I was like, okay, I won't take the chair. And I think now she's bothered by me sitting here. So I'm going to try to be quiet, I guess. But she already left, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, why do I think Pokemon Go 2 could happen? And the main reason is because the game could run better. Now, I'll start this by prefacing the whole concept of this idea came to me when somebody said, and I'm not a game developer, so this is where all my game developers, I need your help. Somebody said that Pokemon Go runs off like the worst game. I don't know if it's like a game software, a gaming processor or something. There's like some sort of like thing that games run off of. I'm not a tech genius. And they said that like Pokemon Go ran off one that just doesn't work for mobile games. Like it's just not a very good mobile game process. I don't even know how to say it. But it's pretty much like part of the reason on why Pokemon Go had a lot of lag in the start of the game, and why Pokemon Go does have issues and glitches. And it's all because it just runs off kind of like not the best game software. The second part of it, which I researched a little bit, is the servers. The game servers for Pokemon Go are a global server. What this means is that the servers aren't really built for super fast, low latency battles. Like when you tap a move, it doesn't go through right away. And that's because you could battle people, from what I understand, around the world. And this creates latency because they're so far. If you look at a game like Fortnite, they have regional servers. So I think America has a server, Oceania has a server, which means you're going to be more battling local people, from what I understand, but it's going to make for a much smoother like Fortnite experience because there won't be as much lag because people aren't as far away, I guess you could say, in the world. So if Pokemon Go were to switch to, how do you say, dedicated PvP servers for like clean, fast matches, it could really, really improve stuff. Like instead of having general servers, having special servers. Actually, sorry, I think I misunderstood this a little bit, but like from what I understand is like there's general servers around the world, and I do believe these general servers are global general servers, so everything kind of just like runs on the same server. But if we had both regional servers, which maybe regional servers are already a thing, I'm not actually the biggest tech genius, so don't take this any with a grain of salt. Just take this as, from what I understand, my concept. If I'm incorrect, please correct me. I always want to be corrected. But also, Pokemon Go runs on general servers, so raids, PvP, Dynamax, all of it runs on the same server. But if we were to get like a dedicated server where there's like less, I guess, like just things going on in the server, you could have like a dedicated server for PvP, which would make for like much smoother, low latency PvP battles. So overall, I do think the idea of like just, I guess, fixing the overall server thing could be amazing. Also, this causes issues, especially when you have things like GoFest, because everybody's logging on, everybody's playing. This is why GoFesters always lag, especially in like certain areas, because it's an overhaul. So again, if we could get multiple servers, or have a Go Fest server. I don't know if that's a thing, or like regional servers, just more servers, less general servers, more dedicated servers. Like could fix it. Like think of like everybody trying to just cram into a door at once. That's kind of like what happens when a server overhaul happens. Anyway, desync is technically the word of this. Again, I have a couple notes here because I did some research. Pokédex actually did some research. Oh my god. So desync, somebody said, explain this to me, but you and your friends might see things differently happening in a battle. That's called desync. It's when the game can't keep everyone's devices perfectly lined up in real time. So that's how servers would kind of help fix stuff. Oh yeah, and I guess edge computing. Edge computing here. Edge computing means putting small servers close to where players actually are, so local servers, instead of sending your game data all the way across the country and back. Could definitely help. Also, real-time rollback systems to fix battle lags. Most mobile games just guess what's happening if the connection is slow. A rollback system would let Pokemon Go rewind and fix mistakes when the game gets laggy. Which would be very useful. Actually, this is honestly just a good thing. Like the thing about Pokemon Go 2, and this could be something implemented in Pokemon Go 2 or the original Pokemon Go, is like when there's an update and there's an issue with the update, they work on a fix for the update, but there's no way to like roll back your system to like the older version that doesn't have the issues, so you can still play Pokemon Go while they're fixing the issues. It would be really, really nice, I guess, if that's a thing. So yeah, overall, I just think like an overhaul of the servers and the system they played on would be the most plausible reason for Pokemon Go 2, because again, this kind of stuff, there's a lot of pressure from the players, and managing this while a game is active is really, really tough. So that's why I think that we could end up seeing Pokemon Go 2, because it would just give Scopely, I'm not going to be incorrect, Scopely, a chance to go ahead and I guess just do it without much pressure. Again, they could do it with the pressure, but they could do it without. I also just want to take the opportunity here, by the way, if you are watching all the way here, shout out. Thank you for, hopefully you're enjoying the YAP sessions. I am going back to Japan on the Japan trip version 2, going down November 9th to 15th in Osaka and Kyoto. So if you're interested in joining that trip, go ahead. I'll leave a link below. You can check it out. The last one was an absolute blast. We actually have some photos here that I can show you from it. That was me at the Pokemon Center in Osaka. There's some random Pokestops we all found and we all shared with each other. That's me being an absolute stud at the Torii Gates, which apparently I'm going to be going to, or we will be going to. There's me and Pokemama in front of the Running Man sign. But anyway, this is all stuff you could do if you join the Japan trip. Also, since it is in November, if they end up having the Wild Area event, last year it was in Fukuoka. If they end up having the Wild Area event again in Japan, then it could be really, really nice, because you could come on the trip and then we could all go to the Wild Area event together. So stay tuned for that. Again, link below. Check it out. And if you have any questions, DM me at Pokedaxi on Instagram, Twitter, wherever you want, because I'll answer any questions, any concerns. If, by the way, you only actually need to put down a payment of a quarter or half the price. So if money is an issue right now and you'll sort it later, like you can pay for half to book and confirm your spot, because spots are selling out. We already have a bunch of bookings. So yeah, if you're interested in the trip, definitely go ahead and grab it while you can. So yeah, anyway, some other features I do have ideas for it to come to Pokemon Go 2. I'm going to go switch spots. We're going to go find another spot in the beautiful meadows here. Because I do think there is not only the opportunity to rehaul the actual game itself, but to really, and I guess like things in game, but also to just add a lot of new things that we've been waiting in Pokemon Go for a long, long time. And I think Pokemon Go 2 is a really, really good opportunity as a testing grounds for all these things. So let me go switch spots and let's keep talking. What a beautiful day in Scotland, in Edinburgh. In Edinburgh. You got to say bruh. That's what I was told. It's not Edinburgh. It's bruh. Okay, let's move. Okay. I moved over here. I moved to a spot. As you can see, look at this. This thing right here. This is very castle-y. And I've moved here just so I can prove that I am in fact in Edinburgh. Why do I think no one believes me? Do you believe me? Maybe you don't believe me. Anyway, not today. Now we're going to talk about what features I think they could add to Pokemon Go that would really, really, really go ahead and just would be a really good opportunity for them to go ahead and throw them. Why are those guys like so? Anyway, Pokemon Center /home base. Now, in the main series Pokemon games, there is a base. Well, there's a couple things. First of all, you have the Pokemon Center. The Pokemon Center is where you go and heal all your Pokemon. I think some sort of like interactable map area. We have gyms. We have power spots. We have Pokestops. But some sort of like home base that maybe you can set. Maybe you can set where you can always go back to and you can heal your Pokemon. It could be your house. You could set it as your house, and everybody has a different one, but you go to your house and you automatically get full heals. You don't have to wait for, just gonna let the wind pass. I'm gonna sit this way so there's no wind hitting it, but you don't have to wait for to get potions and all that stuff and use potions to heal your Pokemon. You can actually just go ahead and go to your home base and heal them. Not only do I think this would be a great opportunity or just a cool thing to be in game, but also this would be a good opportunity to link in what I mentioned before in my how they could fix Pokemon Go video, where they could just go ahead and you could you could breed Pokemon at your home base. You could put two Pokemon together, not together like that, but they could do their thing. You know what you learn in whatever that class is, in health classes. You could learn that you could learn, but you could make Pokemon breed. Anyway, would be an amazing opportunity, some sort of Pokemon center system. Also, you could customize this home base in the main series Pokemon games. I think the wind stopped. In the main series Pokemon games, there was the secret bases underground that you could go to, and you could put a bunch of like cool artifacts, cool things you find. It would be cool if Pokemon Go added this, Pokemon Go 2 implemented this, where you could decorate your home base. You could maybe even put in like items, like, I don't know, if you have a lucky trinket and you haven't used it, maybe there's like, you can put it up on a stand in the meantime, and it would be cool. And then when you go to your home base, just another thing to flex. So overall, I think a home base would be really, really cool. Also, I think this would be a good opportunity to like add a bunch of just cool features to the already existing things like raiding and PvP. For example, raid battles. There could be some sort of like global leaderboard for every raid boss who did the most amount of raids. Or like, I don't know how you implement like PvP into PvE, where it's like competitions. The person who does the most raid gets rewards. But I think it would be a lot better or a lot easier for them to implement these sort of things into PvP, where like global leaderboards, which there are these global leaderboards for ELO, but like some sort of like global PvP tournament. You can do PvP tournaments in person, but there's no like online tournaments. Like Pokemon TCG has online tournaments. Fortnite has online tournaments. Why do they not run Pokemon Go online tournaments? And people do. People take the mantle. But why does Pokemon Go themselves or Play Pokemon not run online tournaments that anyone can enter? You know, like tournaments where, it's getting windy again, tournaments where anybody can go ahead from anywhere around the world and go ahead and check in and do their battles and win. And maybe this even gets them like, I wouldn't say like a world's invite, but some sort of like invitation. I understand Pokemon Go is a in-person game that's meant to be played in person, but it would be cool if every once in a while there was some sort of global online tournament where anyone can go ahead and join and enter and battle. I also do think that this is a good opportunity for them to, I don't want to say revert the Avatar update, but do something new with the Avatar update. It's not a very popular update, and could be a great opportunity for them to just completely overhaul it. I guess the Avatar, thinking about it, the Avatar update is a really good example on why we might not get a Pokemon Go 2, because it was a big update. It was a big change. A lot was overhauled from the ground up. And it was all done with Pokemon. But also at the same time, it was one of our worst updates. Our biggest update was one of our worst updates. So I would say that, I don't know. Take that as you will. But anyway, cool. Would love an Avatar update to be changed, and also just more Avatar items, especially skill-based Avatar items. This is stuff that could definitely be implemented in the regular Pokemon Go version, but some sort of like, do 100 raids, get a cool Avatar update. We already have a couple of these. I believe there's a special pose if you get 100 showcases wins, or 200. I'm not sure, but overall would be really, really cool if we just got more of that. And finally, I guess just like, I think Campfire is a cool app, but if they could implement things that we have in Campfire directly into Pokemon Go 2, this would be really, really cool. Like, is this truck about to hit me? It would be really, really cool if we got this. I thought this truck was going to hit me. So like, sorry, I'm getting distracted. But anyway, like a chat system in game, a map showing you where all the raids in your local area are, all the Dynamax battles, all that, but in game. You know, I love Campfire. I think it's cool, and I think there probably are legal reasons why they can't do this. But it would be amazing if they do just make Pokemon Go 2 and just overhaul the whole game. Just put that stuff in game. Just put it in game. It's just inconvenient, and it's also just simpler. People don't know. A lot of people don't know Campfire exists. There's the amount of people I have to tell them about Campfire. Like it's just again another barrier to entry. And the whole point, if you want a game to be smooth and a game to be very popular, simplicity is important, because the more friction there is in a game to get what you want done, the less enjoyable it will be. Friction is important, but like, hey, I want to message my friend to plan a trade, and I have to download a whole new app, make a whole new account. Like, no, just put that in your game. Anyway, so that's my thoughts. Do I think answering the final question, do I think Pokemon Go 2 will come? Probably not. But I do think, if anything, we could get a Pokemon Go, I guess you could say like version 2, where Niantic just completely updates the servers and maybe even updates the engine that runs it. Because I believe, I think engine is the correct word. I believe it's run on like Unity. I'm not 100% sure. I'm very curious. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the comments. So if you are like a game developer and you understand it, like let me know if Pokemon Go runs on like a good game engine, or if there could be better, and this would be a good opportunity for Pokemon Go to like update to that game engine. So that's kind of all I have to say, guys. Watch the 2 videos on screen if you enjoyed this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the YAP session. We're going to be back in Ottawa next week for Friday's YAP session. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Drop your comments and your thoughts on this subject below. And by the way, watch this video on screen, because this one will be talking about how they could fix Pokemon Go right now instead of updating it to number 2. Okay, appreciate y'all watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Follow for tips. Peace.